Hello YouTube, it's me Unicorn Guy here with the Microsoft Surface to Apple's iPad. Now, let's compare this size-wise first. Let's get all the physical aspects out of the way before we move to software. Oops. Can't line it up right. Alright, there we go. It's a little bit longer than the iPad. This may be a little bit thinner, and I believe that they both weigh the same, although I haven't taken them to scale to measure it. Let's explore the outside physical aspects more. We got a charging port here, USB 2.0, micro USB speaker here, two speakers on the top, speaker over here, headphone jack, volume switch. We've got one camera here, got the docking station, kickstand, another camera, and a infrared port. Now let's put down the kickstand. Sorry about that, nearly launched this thing off the table, but now that I've gotten that out of the way, they were really thinking when they added the little kickstand, because I think that's what Apple should have done with, one of the versions of the iPad. Like, say, after making the first iPad, they should have been like, well, gee, you know what, it really would be nice to include some sort of little kickstand for this thing. That's not what Apple did, and they sort of just kept it. So, this thing's really nice. Unfortunately, it runs Windows RT, not Windows 8, so it's a bit of a lockdown OS. Not as locked down as iOS, but it's pretty close. Well, actually, just because there's so little stuff for it, I think that's, close to iOS now, but when more people start developing for this, although I do expect a jailbreak sometime in the near future, I believe that it'll become a little bit more open then. So yeah, I'm using the picture password. Oops, let's start over with that. This is not any more secure than the regular password, which is just alphanumeric. Oftentimes I end up messing up the picture password. So yeah, this is what I really like this little thing. It's, nice and bright, colorful. I feel like iOS is really bland. You know what I mean? I can't really describe it. I feel like it's too clean. That's really what I can say it as. But I'm not saying that, we should just dump a garbage can on top of a operating system and then call that. No, I'm saying that it feels almost really sterile. Like, how home is, has a home aspect to it. The iPad feels more like a hospital, where this actually feels like, this could be someone's house, if these two things are buildings. So let's start off with the apps in order. The Mail app, it's a mail app. There's nothing really to say about that, except that typing email in here can be a pain. Honestly, bringing up the keyboard and whatnot, it's honestly really a pain. And then autocorrect it's kind of spotty in places, although it seems to learn much faster than iOS does. The People app that just shows your people. Now the desktop, it actually has, a Windows, familiar desktop, which is really nice. You can go to Internet Explorer, which is the desktop version of that. So you've got MSN for Windows 8 here. I guess it looks nice to me. Unfortunately, that also happens too if you can actually go into your previous app just by trying to flip a page. So that's a little bit off-putting, but still nice. So push the Windows button down here, which is not actually a button; it's more just a capacitive touch button, and it also makes a little bit of a pulse through the machine when you press it. You got your messaging app, calendar. Now photos. This is why I kind of laugh at the HD camera, because both front and rear facing cameras are 1 megapixel cameras. So no way, shape, or form HD. Microsoft sort of dropped the ball on that. There's the weather app. It shows your weather. Internet Explorer for the tablet. It's sort of nice. I was watching a game review here. Let's open up the new tab. Let's go to Google. And it loads very fast. The website looks really nice. It's not botched in any way, shape, or form. Watching YouTube videos on here is very nice. I personally love watching YouTube on here. The sound is very nice. It's when you turn it up to 100%, it's actually loud, and I don't have to put my ear up to the device to actually listen to it. Although last night I plugged in headphones into it, and that actually was very nice too. I like how you can actually use YouTube on the actual site instead of having an app for it, because with the iPad, YouTube videos take forever. I don't know why or how, it's just they take forever. And sometimes some videos won't play that will play on your PC just because of some sort of option that they have enabled on YouTube. I don't know what it is or how to get around it. Let's go back. You got the store right here, which is looking at app updates, and let's go back to store home or the store front. So yeah, there are a lot of apps on here. Not nearly as many as iOS, but well, that'll take a long while. So yeah, there's a lot of different categories. I mean, the App Store on here looks very nice. I feel like the App Store in the iPhone is very complicated. Very nice App Store. There are not a lot of games on here, unfortunately. Well, there are a lot of games on here that you have to pay for, but the free games in here are sort of lacking. Let's see, you got the Maps, SkyDrive, haven't messed with any of those yet. You got Microsoft's Bing app. You got a news ticker here, finance ticker there. You got games. I believe this connects to your Xbox. Let's see. Yeah, I think this connects to your Xbox. Yeah, this is it. Unfortunately, I don't have my Xbox on right now, so it's not going to connect. You got the camera app, video app, which I don't understand why you'd want to take a video with a 1 megapixel camera, but be my guest. Travel app. And you actually get a word suite on here for free. Now, apparently, this is the beta word suite, and they give it to you when you buy the tablet. So I haven't tried typing anything on here yet, but I'll take their word for it. It's nice. So you get some games here. This is one of the games that they showed off a lot with the tablet on, or actually just with Windows 8 on television. A lot of these games, some of them are kind of gimmicky, like Marble Tracks and Geared. I feel like they could have done a lot better, but honestly, this thing just recently launched, so it's going to take a couple months before anything really gets on here. Radiant's a really good game. Some games on here crash, so oops, I didn't mean to do that. Well, that's Microsoft's Smart Glass. I tried using it with my Xbox, and personally, I don't see what the point is. I tried using this thing to paint with, but honestly, most of these paint applications are really too complex. Radiant Defense, Evac, those are also some pretty good games. There's also, what I like on here is a Atari emulator on here, which includes a lot of games for Atari, and a ZX Spectrum emulator. Robotech, that's also another good game, and I didn't mean to go to that game. Yeah, this touchscreen is really touchy. Like, you can accidentally, like, when you do that, you can accidentally open it up an app. Game Dev Tycoon, I love that game, but unfortunately it's only in a light stage because you have to pay $7 and some odd cents for this game. And I think that's outrageous for an application, but everybody thinks, oh, $7, it's not too bad. But I think it's personally outrageous. You got Google's app, just to go to Google with. Adara, Melon Mortar, and then Steam Launcher. I'm going to talk about this app a little bit more in depth because I find this sort of funny. I'm not. Steam didn't make this. Apparently, like Ninja Studios did, and I connected to my Steam profile, and it shows these are only 2 games I have. I have like 3 or 4 more games though. I thought this is a sort of a funny app because, well, I'm gonna try launching Team Fortress 2 and show you what happens. So let's go ahead, open a Team Fortress 2, ask you if you want to launch it. It says, sadly, Windows 8 doesn't allow applications to automatically launch an external application. Please press this button to launch your game. Launch Team Fortress 2. And then the tablet says, no apps are installed to open this type of link, Steam. Look for an app in the App Store. So I go to it, it searches Steam, nothing's there. So it's actually sort of funny. I think the developer may have accidentally wrote the app for Windows RT instead of Windows 8. Which that must be a really embarrassing screw up. You can turn on your administrative tools and whatnot. I'll show you how to do that right now. So go to Settings, go to Tiles, and if you want to clear your personal info from your tile, just push Clear, and Show Administrative Tools, just click Yes. Now let's start talking about the hardware aspect of things. I'm not sure how much RAM this has, but I know for a fact that it has an ARM processor, ARM. It's sort of nice. I think it's I think that it runs pretty fast. Let's go to system information, and apparently it just takes you to the desktop. I don't know why. I was hoping it would tell me something about the RAM. So let's go back to settings. You can also change a lot of your PC settings too. For example, here's personalization. I think you go under General, and under General, you can have an advanced startup, which I think Microsoft's planning on doing something with this because you can start up your device from a disk, like a USB drive or a DVD, which I think that's really nice. So I think that's sort of Microsoft's way of saying, we know you're going to jailbreak this thing, so we might as well just let you do it without messing up the devices. Messing up the device, such as opening it or trying to add some weird wonky app that crashes the PC and then sort of injects itself into the startup lineup of the Microsoft Surface. I might try. I might look for a version of Linux that can run on an ARM device, and see if it'll fit on a flash drive or a DVD, because I have an external DVD drive that I could use for this thing, and see how well that works. This does not really have 32 gigabytes of memory, although I used a lot of it. When I first got this thing, Windows had taken up a good portion of that 32 gigabytes with itself and then all these apps. So, well, not all these apps, those are apps I installed, but all these apps. So yeah, I was left with only like 18 gigs when I first got this thing, and now I'm down to 7 point something. But yeah. All in all, this is a very nice machine. I think this is very promising. This is probably one of the best Christmas gifts I've received, besides my awesome Windows 7 computer. This more than likely will not replace my main PC, just because I do too much for a tablet to suit my needs. And there's so much stuff I do with, a keyboard and a mouse that the best touchscreen in the world wouldn't be able to handle. So yeah, all in all, I say this is a very good tablet PC. This is actually a tablet PC instead of Apple's iPad, which I call that the glorified iPod Touch. And in fact, they made an iPad mini, that's basically an iPad that's slightly larger than an iPod Touch, so I don't get where Apple's going with that. But I have to say, I love this thing. This thing is very nice, especially when you just want to do something quick on the internet. Say, for example, you want to Google something, and let's just put the iPad to the side. Let's pretend that it didn't even exist. And you're like, oh, I just want to Google something real quick. I can just open this up, go to Google, type it in, and view it like a full PC instead of like a mobile interface. But I call this thing pretty good. I hope that a jailbreak comes out for it soon, or more apps or something comes out soon, because this thing is amazing. Alright, this is Unicorn Guy signing